Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch with a little bit of paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play and giving my channel a try. I hope you like what you see. Hit like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And if you're a returning stitching friend, as always, thank you so much for being here and sharing stitching with me, sharing scrapbooking or paper crafting with me and all of that fun stuff. So I do really appreciate it. I feel like I'm shrinking today. I have to, on my chair, I have to put like a blanket, almost a booster. And sometimes depending on how I put it, I feel like I'm a lot smaller. So I'll try not to shrink during the video. Speaking of videos though, this is Flosstube number 150. I cannot believe it. We're coming up on 3 years, not yet. We've got another few weeks to go. But 150 regular traditional Flosstube videos along with a bunch of extras. I'm super excited that I'm still doing this and still enjoying it every week. Speaking of extra videos, I did put an extra video out this week. It was labeled something like picking fabric and flosses for a project. I was getting ready to get the Katie the Novel Stitcher. Her Stitchalong is #BestBunniesSAL, and so I was choosing my pattern with a bunny, and I wanted to get all the stuff ready to start it this weekend probably. I probably won't wait till February. I'll probably get that going today or this weekend. And I was in the process of choosing different fabric than what's called for and then changing up some flosses. So I thought it might be fun if I shared that process with you. And I pulled out my DMC color card book, which is right there, and showed you how I use it in some cases, and hopefully it helped. And feel free to have, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I would love to try to answer anything I can. And I really enjoyed, I love my weekly videos, but I also like trying to do some different videos as well, and just some fun different stuff. So if you ever have any requests of things that you would like me to try to do, I will do my best. Sometimes the video setup is the hardest thing to figure out, but I'd be happy to give things a try. So feel free to suggest and I'll see what I can do. Okay, now last week I did a shout out and I really enjoyed doing that, and I have another one this week. I wanted to talk a little bit about Kelly. Her channel is Pages. It's Pages and Stitches, but it's Pages 3 Stitches is what it looks like. And it'll be linked down below, so you can just see what it is down below. I originally met Kelly on one of Carla's Zooms from Carla Being Crafty. Carla does a monthly Zoom, and she seemed like such a wonderful, lovely person that when I found out she had a Flosstube, I decided to check it out. And being the wonderful, lovely person she is, she did shout out my channel, so thank you very much for that. But Kelly's a lot of fun. If you've not experienced her videos before, she's just she's hit her, see now, I'm almost sure she's just hit her 1 year Flosstube anniversary, however you say it, anniversary for Flosstube. She's been doing them for 1 year. I get my people and my dates mixed up, but I'm almost sure she's done a full year at this point. So she's got some fun videos to go back and look at if you want. She is a stitcher and she's a quilter as well as a reader. So she talks about books and pretty much just what she reads. She doesn't spend a lot of time, but she shows what she reads. But she also has separate quilter videos. Now, I'm not a quilter, so, and I'm way behind on my my Flosstube videos, so I've yet to watch one of her quilting ones. One of these days I will, because I love, she always has a different quilt in her background, and some of them are so cool. So it'd be fun to go watch those. I'm telling you, between the Flosstube and then I have currently been trying and looking for craft room organization videos, so I have a whole bunch of those in my to watch too, because I'm half organized. You see the organized-ish part, but I still have more to go. So I've been looking for some ideas. So I have this long queue of videos that I still want to watch. And then of course I get down the paper crafting rabbit hole, and then there's a whole bunch more to watch as well. So all that to say, I haven't watched her quilting ones, just her cross stitch, but I really do enjoy them a lot. She stitches everything. She stitches full coverages, some of which are kits. I know she's done some dimensions and other, she does Bella Filipinas, which are beautiful, and I love some of the color conversions she's done. She's very much not afraid to do that, which is a lot of fun. I think she's got a long dog on the go, if I remember from her parade, and some other fun, unique patterns. So that's a lot of fun, because I love seeing some of the trendy patterns that are going around, and I love everybody's different take on them. But it's also fun sometimes to just see different patterns that you've not seen before, and you're like, wow, that's kind of cool. So I will link Kelly down below if you are interested in giving another Flosstuber a try. And yeah, I think she's lovely. All right, let's get going. Oh, no, I've still got more stuff here. I have notes and all sorts of things here just to keep me on task today. So this is it. January 25th has passed. So Bringo, which is part of the Magzine monthly cross stitch challenge, and it was a January pop-up challenge for that Facebook group. Bringo is over. All the calls have been called. I was able to keep up with it for every day, so I actually have a blackout on my card. Now on this side, I do want to put all of the prompts and what project went with the prompt, but when I printed off the original sheet from the Facebook group, and I wrote all over it, and this book is smaller, as you can see. This was really tight to get my bingo board on there. I had to cut right to the margins, so I have to reprint this again, or I might do something myself, print it myself, or with retype it and then put this stuff on there. But I would like to have a reference point as to what number each number was. So I'm super excited. That was the first time I'd ever done it, that event before, and I will show you which of my projects were calls for that this month, and then that's it. It's over. And then I believe, and I'm throwing out there September. I have no clue if it's September or not, but they do another pop-up bingo challenge. I think it's ABC Bringo, or I don't know how they call it, where it's an alphabet type of thing. So be on the lookout if you're interested in some sort of game like that. And I like that it's only a couple times a year. I really enjoyed this, but I don't think I'd want to do it every month. I like the variety a couple times a year, but I want to change it up in other ways, which I had come to that fact this week, which then affects what I thought how I was going to attack some of February stitching, but we'll get to that in plans. So completed bingo board, and I'll show you the projects when we get there. The last thing I have before we get to the stitching, I promise, is I need your help. And let me show you. I was in the process of finishing a couple of Valentine's ornaments. So I have some Valentine's finishes. I want to get them on my Hirschner's tree and put them out for the month or however long or whatever. And two of the little things that I've done, and this is all I have with them so far, are these little guys here. So let me show you the pattern. It is actually a freebie, and it comes from Fat Quarter Shop. And I'm not gonna, you can go, I'll link you to Fat Quarter Shop so you can go and get it there. And they actually do give you color suggestions, but I don't think I might have taken the suggestion for the base color, but when I did the X's and O's, I think I did them different than what they suggest. So that's what I have so far. These are done on an 18 count. I'd have to look and see. If you want to know, I can get back to you on that. They're tiny. I mean, the pattern itself is a 30 by 31, so it's a small pattern, however you look at it. And I have a few other colors in my bag to work on these, because I would like to get some more of these. I thought it'd be fun. I never could find good stamps that were conversation hearts. So when I was doing cards and everything, I always wanted to find something good with that, and I never really did. But when I saw these, I thought these would be super cute. So far, these are just matted on the comic book board, and I have a double layer of batting underneath it. Just because they're so small, I wanted to give them a little bit of, I mean, dimension's too strong a word really, because it's two thin layers of batting, but just a little something, a little, not pillow-like, but you know what I mean. Now, what I wanted to do with backing these, I thought it'd be cute to take some of my felt, you know, do a shape, probably like a scalloped square, something like that, because I have the different size scalloped squares in my metal dies, and I thought felt would be fun. Now, I don't know whether or not to do everything in like a red, or if I go, or a pink to kind of match the fabric, because it's not going to necessarily match either one of these. This is, you know, the purple and the green and the orange and the yellow. I thought briefly, but I'm not sure I love this idea. I thought briefly of pulling in the color of the XO from the felt. And I just happen to have felt that is both sort of an orange. It's a little bit of a burnt sienna orange, and then I have a purple. So I had that, and I thought I could do those, but I feel like they are more, these two, for example, are more Halloween-y colors. And then I know I'm doing, I have one that I want to do a blue base and a pink base and a couple other bases. And then I have other Valentine little ornamenty things, some of the like the Primrose Cottage stitches and things like that. And so I felt in the end, I stopped myself and I didn't use these because I felt like they really would go too far away from the Valentine idea. So my question is, should I try to just go like a deeper pink to match the fabric, or is there another suggestion? Should I just go with red or whatever? So give me your thoughts or ideas what you would do on that. Okay, so that was my community question. I need help from your creative minds. Alrighty, now we can get into the stitching. Yay! All right, I have one finish. It's a small finish. It's a very small finish, and then no starts. I know, 2 weeks without any starts. This is why I have to start Katie's Stitch Along this weekend, because I need another start. You know, I don't care how many projects I have. And I did my 25/7. So when I get to that, I'll show you as well. Okay, so the first one I stitched on is this one right here. It's the Valentine tree. It's from the 2022 spring Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher magazine, and it's by Rovaris. But mine is eventually going to look a little different than that. I'm doing the tree. I'm not going to do February 14, and I am not doing this sign that says Valentine. I've got some ideas of what I'd rather do at the top up here instead. But that's at the very end after I have everything else stitched. So it's a real basic pattern in the sense of colors. There's a brown, there's the red, and there's the green. And so it's a lot of fun in that sense. And I decided with these colors that I did want to go neutral. It can be done. I can do neutrals. I know I've said that before, but I know it's probably so amazing sometimes that I use a neutral. I love this, and I was looking at this is an Under the Sea fabric, and I think I want to buy, this is all I have, is this small piece of it, and I have another pattern I think I would like to put on here, and then it'd be fun to have them scrapbooked side by side with the matching kind of fabrics, but different designs. But I think I want to buy some more of this because it is a lovely neutral, and depending on some of the more deeper colors, your less bright but kind of deeper shades, especially these colors right here, they go really well on this. It's an 18 count Tiramisu from Under the Sea Fabrics. So that's what I have so far. I don't remember when I stitched this. It might have been when I was with my stitching group here in my neighborhood. It's fun in that sense, because what I can do is I can do the counting for this and get all that done, and then the leaves and the hearts are fun to kind of fill in with that as well. So I have 1, 2, 3. So I have one more row to go. Then we have the bottom with the bottom of the tree, and then just a whole bunch of leaves and hearts. So if I just buckled down and sat down with this, I think it would be it'd be a fun stitch. And this will go in my, like I said, this will go in my scrapbook. And I didn't pull it out this week to show you for plans, but I have an idea of one that I would like to start probably on the other side of that fabric after I do a floss toss. Because you know how sometimes when you think in your head, I think these are the colors for this pattern, And then sometimes when you get it or you get it out and you're like, oh, nope, those weren't the actual colors. I had a whole different idea in my head. So I've got to do a little bit of that, grab some flosses for that, and then hopefully maybe show you that. I'd like to start it sometime in February. It wasn't on my original plans for February when I did my plans video, but I start to remember things I have and I just want to stitch them, and they get started, they'll get finished eventually, you know, and potentially, again, I don't worry about having to decorate the house with anything specific. So I can stitch how many I want, however I want, and however long it takes. Now, this one goes under the realm of my fun stitches, and it's seasonal, but again, these whole series, they'll end up be probably different page layouts in the scrapbooks. So the set itself is from Wonderland, Ukraine. I filled out my gnome. I was on a Zoom call with a stitchy friend, and it was just her and I. So, you know, if I needed to like talk, like count or whatever, she was cool about it. And so I thought it'd be fun. And I am absolutely adoring the fabric I chose for this. So I'm really enjoying it. So that's the full set. And I'm calling them winter gnomes. It says Xmas gnomes, blue winter, you know, so there's a whole bunch of, you know, the Etsy title names. I don't know if there's a specific, when you print them off, I don't have it right here, if there's a specific name. The gnome that I am stitching is this one. I had to think long and hard because I love the colors of the different ones. And I want to say this one might have been my second. I'm not sure. What I will do is, of the different sets, I will get at least one stitched, and then we'll see. I don't feel the need to stitch necessarily all three on each, but if there's a second one, hey, if I loved all three, they eventually would get stitched. But at the very least, the one. And I am not stitching that background that you see, or the base of the gnome. But I did take that beige as a guideline for my fabric choice. Now, this is different. It's not that beige, but this is, let me show you the full piece. And that was a fabric of the month from Fortnight Fabrics. Last year, I was in their Opals club, which I don't think they're doing this year. I think they're just putting their opals on flash sales on either their Facebook group or their Instagram pages. So and I think there's set days for that. So it's not like it's just a surprise and you have to, I think there are specific days that they do put things out. So if you're interested in that, but let me fold this up now. It's an 18 count. This one's called Opal Hourglass Nebula. And I did get a good amount accomplished this week. I probably got 750 stitches on this one this week. I gave myself a break from here and came down because I wanted to get some more of that, you know, these are the little kind of offshoots of the pretty flower that'll be right here, and which I have not quite gotten into yet. And then last time I stitched on it, I was stitching back up through the hat. So we're slowly working our way down. It's a beautiful design. I really like it. And as always with the gnomes on Wonderland Ukraine, they're charted so nicely with the different balance of shades of DMCs that it's just a joy to see the pattern come alive, and you don't realize it. You're just pulling this color and that color and stitching it, and then when you step back and look, you're like, oh wow, look at that design on there. So that's what it looks like. And this will definitely, over the winter, I'll enjoy stitching this. I don't necessarily know if I'll seasonally stitch them, or if sometimes it's just I really like that fabric or that design and I want to stitch it. They do have Valentine's ones. I don't know if I have those. I actually really like, I do have the St. Patrick's ones. And oh, see, now I'm going to pull my hair. And did you notice last video there was hair sticking out from the side? It's me. There's nothing put together with me. This is me. But the St. Patrick's ones, there's a couple I think that I really like. So I think that will be my next focus. And maybe come March, even though I don't think it was in my plans video, but that would be a lot of fun to get one of those started. But I'd have to start thinking fabrics. So I think I'll pull the flosses and play around with fabrics on that one and see what I do. So I probably will skip the Valentines, at least at this point, and go from winter to St. Patrick's. And then that would give me a nice little rotation of them, and then I can think about where I want to add other ones as well. I know they have patriotic. I would love if they would do, they have summer ones, which are the is it sunflower? I think it's sunflower, which I have that set, and I've got one, that's my farthest along gnome. So I don't know if they would do any other like summer kind of fun, summer beachy-ish ones, but that would be a lot of fun too. So we'll see. I think when I went to look at this page, it looked like they had some new digitals out. So usually I go to their PDF, the label on their store, the PDF section, and I just flip through and see what's there. So because they have plenty of other things besides just gnomes. There's a huge variety of stitches in their PDF, and that's where my shamrock was from here as well. So lots of different things to choose from, and I mention them below if you want to go see them. Okay, next. Speaking of beachy, let's get going on that. And that's my first, oh no, what did I do here? My first Bringo piece that you're going to see for this week. The prompt was for an outdoor activity. So of course I had to go with my beach one. This is a Stitchrovia pattern from Etsy. And I don't know if Stitchrovia, Emma Congdon has the books as well. And I know once in a while they're in magazines, and sometimes some of these are in older magazines. I don't know if there's any physical patterns or if it's just digital through the shop. That's how I've always gotten them, is that way. This is called On the Beach. She has a lot of fun, different beachy ones as well besides this one. So, you know, you never know. There might be other beachy ones in my future at some point. But I gotta get this done first. This is actually one of my older projects at this point. It's not my oldest, but it's definitely starting to be one of the more mature projects, shall we say. This is an 18 count beach sand from To Die For Fabrics. And I really did concentrate some more on the water. This is going to be the person floating, and that's full coverage down there. So there'll be a lot of stitching there. I have lots of different things to keep filling in here, but I was enjoying just rotating between the different colors there. So I decided, well, if that's what I was enjoying, then that's what I was going to do. There'll be plenty of time to come back with that. So good thing this was on my Bringo board, and it was on at least twice. I'm not sure if it was on more than that, because this is my snow day piece, but as of now, which is January, 27th, we have not had a single snowflake of snow. And I know at least through the weekend. I don't know the weather after that. I know, so basically through until February, well, February is the middle of next week, right? I'm pretty sure until February there's no snow in the forecast. So we'll see if I do get any, and I'm gonna count even those kind of stray mood flakes, they like to say, where it just gives you that idea of winter. If I have any of those stray flakes, I'm gonna count that as a snow day stitch, and I'll pull this one out. Because if it's snowing, we're going to think about the beach and the nice, warm, fun sun weather. So we'll see if you see this winter. The goal was that I would try to get some work on it. But I suppose I should have moved up to Maine with all of our Maine stitching friends, because they've had lots of stitching time for snow day stitches. Next is my 25/7 piece. So 25/7, am I shrinking again? I feel like it. Is from Melanie Watkins, the Soulful Stitcher, and it is a Facebook group. Off the top of my head, I don't know the exact name. In the description box below, I give the exact name of the Magzine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge Facebook group, so you can look for that if you're interested. And it's not just magazines. They encourage, it started off to kind of get to your magazines and stitch some of those pieces, but they encourage everything, and there's no hard or fast rules. So if you'd like to join, feel free. They're super nice. It's Carolyn and Robin. They're just really nice people. So, and then however the 25/7 is listed down below, I also list that page. So if you're interested in joining that as well. But recently, and I'm working this to a finish. So this is my 25/7 until it's finished, and it's Spring Birds from Country Cottage Needleworks. My executive decision was not to stitch the row of white blocks below or this border below. So it will finish right there. And I'm getting closer and closer to a finish. Not there yet. I don't know if a week will be enough, but this is definitely almost there. This is 18 count Spacious Skies from Color and Cotton. And that is the end. Let me fold it a little bit more like that so you see the border a bit. There we go. That's the end of the piece. That's as long as it is. And this is as tall as it's going to be. Now, you see how the white is really difficult to see? Even in person it is. So I'm calling that, instead of doing double borders, I'm calling that the clouds, and that kind of just a topping sort of border. You know, trees, birds, all that kind of nature stuff, and leaving it right here. That was, and part of that was because of how the white wasn't showing up. All the other colors look beautiful on here. And I'm coming to realize Country Cottage Needleworks, I love, love, love their cute kind of aesthetic and design and things like that. But everything has to have a top and bottom border. And I'm coming to realize that I want to choose those top and bottom borders on Country Cottage Needleworks or on any pattern design thoughtfully. And if it really makes a difference with the pattern, okay, I get it. If sometimes I think I like the pattern better this way because this kind of ends it, and that's just for me, that I am going to throw out parts and not worry about that, the fact that they're not stitched. The flower needs to be finished a little bit. I think there's a little something inside. There's a little bits and pieces, some legs of the birds, some, I don't know if I have all of the tree house or birdhouse, not tree house, birdhouse stuff. This comes all the way over, and then there's fill-in, and then there's that white. Now I did do a count, and I think if I do pull out the 6 strands and do a length of that, one of these days I should just need to do those and get those done. And I probably could do it in one of my 25/7 days. It's just a matter of I just pick all the fun colors instead. So I'm not going to necessarily say that this will be a finish by next video, but if I kind of buckle down, it's possible. It could be. So we'll see. It actually didn't get any time yesterday. I was battling a lovely sinus headache yesterday. And so I did some stitching, but I just wasn't in the mood for this one. So it's fine. There's no deadlines. There's no hard and fast rules. So that's okay. All right, the next one I had started this month in January. It wasn't called for anything, but I just love the colors, and I think it's so pretty that I decided to pull it out. And it is this butterfly design. Now this is from a magazine. It is from Just Cross Stitch, August 2021. A lovely friend sent me this issue because, let me show you the cover. That's a no-brainer right there, right? But the first thing that jumped out at me when I flipped through and did the flip through was I loved the butterfly, and I loved all those colors. One of my favorite things every year with the kids over summer break, we would go up to Deerfield, Massachusetts, because we lived, we were in Connecticut, and we would go to Yankee Candle. And, I loved all of the, I liked the candle part, don't get me wrong, but I loved all the other stuff, and I loved the Christmas area. And I would always pick out an ornament for the tree in the Christmas area. And then I also loved, I have Department 56, the Dickens Village. So sometimes I would find like little pieces to go with that and everything like that too. So we would go there, and then we would do the Butterfly Museum, which was right down the road. It wasn't very far from Yankee Candle. And I so enjoyed that. I know sometimes, you know, because you go in and the butterflies all fly around you, and that kind of, you know, makes people nervous or just uncomfortable. I loved it. I loved all the beautiful butterflies and everything with it. And we always tried to figure out, should we wear a hat or not? What color should we wear to get the butterflies to land on us? Just lovely memories of trips there almost every year with the kids. It was just kind of one of those, let's pick a day for our yearly day trip to summer day trip to up to Deerfield. And so when I saw that pattern, I decided I really wanted to stitch it. I didn't want to do just the colors look lovely against that, but I wanted something that was a little bit more naturey. And I mean, at the Butterfly Museum, which is quite lovely, you know, you have all the trees and you have all the different things around so that the butterflies can float on. There's water with koi fish, and there's little chicks of something that walk around the bottom, and it's super cute. And so these colors really kind of reminded me of that, and I wanted kind of that nature idea. And this time I just wanted to do some more fill-in of colors to really get, there's probably 3 or 4 different shades if I remember correctly. So you get all the different variations of the yellows to the peaches to the oranges. So it's really quite lovely, and I'm really going to enjoy stitching this one. So that's where that is. It doesn't look like I got a lot accomplished, but this got some good time, stitching time. There's a lot of changes with the colors, and then you can see I tried to come down and do some more. And the outline of the butterfly, there's a lot of counting with that because you want to get it just so. I still have to fill in, there's different colors that go in there as well. I will definitely, I wonder if I can find some of those pictures from, I bet you it's just a matter of trying to figure out where I put them on the computer, right? But it would be so fun to have this scrapbooked with pictures of the kids, especially if we can find some butterflies that might be that color. So but I would like to keep some of the blue around it because blue-green, it's such a beautiful fabric. Did I tell you? I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember. 18 count unnamed fabric from Coffee Crafts Fabrics. And that's a Facebook group. I usually give the Facebook name information. Every fabric that I've gotten from Coffee Crafts, I believe she's Megan, which I should remember that, right? Because I have a Megan. Her fabrics are beautiful. They really are quite lovely, and I really enjoy stitching on them. The Aida, I have no idea, you know, what the others would feel or be like, but her 18 count Aida is lovely. I really do enjoy it. So that information will be down below if you were looking. And they are she's UK based. So for my UK friends, if you know, sometimes it's harder because you've got to pay more shipping to get it over from the US. And here you have a wonderful, talented hand dyer right there in the UK. So I would definitely run over to her Facebook group if you are in that part of the world. Alrighty, next was the prompt was indoor activity, and I chose Kringles because, you know, we're gonna go shopping, especially at the holidays. My Kringles is different than Little House Needleworks has it charted because it's a 2-floor building, not a 3. And I don't know 100% what I'm doing, but I did know I wanted this clock in the center on the 2nd floor. Because, I mean, if you see, then on either side, they have charted like shelves with things underneath, and then here the center tree, and mine's not going to be that symmetrical, and that's okay. I do want to keep the chandeliers, but I might take some of the other stuff and put it down there. I don't know yet. That's what it looks like. What I would really love, I would super love on one of these, probably up here, because here these will be the chandeliers. One of these, if I could find like a Santa, you know, kind of Santa sitting on the chair waiting for kids type of thing. But that might be a bit of an ask to find something that is just the right size that would fit in there. And these colors, and I could change the colors, but this color scheme is a bit more muted. It's not as bright. So I would be doing some color changes. But that, if I could find what would fit, I think it'd be so cool, because I think of Kringles as going to see Santa for Christmas. So I thought that would be fun. But here we go. I did quite a bit in here, and that was That's the only thing I worked on, was that center section. So it's coming along. Now, the other reason why I wanted to do this, not only did I know what it is, this is literally, this pattern here is 4 pages, because don't forget, you've got 3 stories. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that room is smack dab in the middle of all 4 pages. So this would have gone a lot faster if I wasn't basically going from 1 to 2, then 1 to 3, and 1, you know, it's, whew. You get by this one, everything else is going to be super easy to do, I think. 18 count Artemis from Bestitchme. It's a lot of fun. So I was looking in those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those first 6 projects have 6 different hand dyers. There are so many talented people out there that dye fabric. It is just a joy to be able to experience and try so many different types of fabric from talented hand dyers. All right, next was my full coverage of the week-ish. So normally I do my full coverages for 10 days. And this had been a call on Bringo as my largest piece last week. So I had stitched 1 day on it. And so I said when I finished, what was my last one last week? Was it Hidden Harbor? I don't remember. Whatever I finished last week, no, it was Watching the World Go By. The new rotation was starting on this one. And I said, okay, that's perfect. Then I'll work on this one since I'd already given it a day. And I did, and I've worked on it all week. It's had 7 days, but I don't think it's going to go 10. So this is what I have. Let's first start with that, and then we'll go from there. This is, let's show you what you're actually going to eventually look at. You'd think I don't do this every week. This is Little Red Riding Hood, the full-sized piece, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by Annya. All right, so that's what you're looking at. Now that'll make more sense when you look at this. Oops, let me have it. I had it folded. This is such a big piece of fabric. Oh, yeah, you know what? There's a tiny bit down below there. All right, so let's go with that. That right there is where I am. This is an 18 count white aida, 2 strands over 1 full cross. And I spent some time trying to do a bunch of fill-ins and things like that. So quite a bit of different, or some, I shouldn't say quite a bit, but different empty holes and spaces up here. So that always takes longer. And then one day I was tired of that. So I said, let's come down here. And I stitched some of that instead and got some more of the maroon in. And then, you know, again, filling in here and so on and so forth. But I think this one's only going to get 7 days. I really struggled the last couple days when it was time to pull this out. And I love this pattern, and I've never felt that. But our weather's been very gray. We've gotten a lot of rain, a lot of cloudy days, just not a lot of sunshine. Yesterday was the first sunny day in like most of the day in quite some time. So you wake up in the morning and it's dreary, it's gray all day. And I think working on these, I just wasn't enjoying it. I really wanted some more brights. And I think too, because I started to tackle some of those little individual different pieces. So you're stopping and starting and stopping and starting, that I really couldn't get into a groove. So I think the combination of those two, my arm's getting tired. I think with the combination of those, I got to the point where I just wasn't feeling it anymore. So as per my usual, I stitch what I want when I want. And even though I usually give myself 10 days, I'm calling it at 7 days and I'm moving on to something else. I do want to start a new one in February. And I had one that I wanted to start in January, but I have all these others that I haven't gotten, I haven't gotten to it yet. So we'll see. But I was looking at the Magzine Monthly Challenge. They do themes and acrostics every single month of the year. I didn't do one for January because I was just doing Bringo. And the acrostic is short this month, and it goes with the theme. So I might do something with that and the full coverage would fit in with the theme. So there's the potential that I might start one of those next, maybe not February 1st, because I would want to be stitching something now. But I've pulled out a new full coverage to work on at this point, just to kind of get going with things there. So you'll see something different next week, and this one will get put away for a little while. I think I need the sunny weather back again before I can concentrate on that. All right, next is, this was my smallest, was the prompt. And you look at the piece and you say, that's not the smallest, but all I was stitching was this penguin cup right here. This is from Shannon Christine Designs. It's called Cup of Cheer. It is such a fun stitch, and I could see stitching every single one of those and making them into fun ornaments. That's what this guy is gonna be. So you will probably see more of these as time goes by. They're super cute. I've seen it stitched full too on Shannon Christine's Facebook group, and it's adorable. But there he is, he's done. He's so cute. I figured, and the Bringo call did get a finish for me on this one. I needed more than the 100 stitches for the actually, I think I needed another day. I did my stitches for the call, and then I think I ran out of stitching time that day. But there he is. This is an 18 count Opal Blue Ice, and I just love it so much. So that will become a Christmas ornament. So I have no designated plans, but the idea of an ornament a month would be fun. And I can at least say I've finished one in January. Now it's not fully finished, but that's okay. I go on fully finishing kind of sessions, so to speak. And so like I have a pile that I'm looking at on my craft table right there of Valentines, and I like doing them, getting a bunch going at once, because a lot of times you might use the same sort of colors or shades. I pull out my, get the glue gun going, get the different tapes I use and all that different stuff. So I usually will wait. So even though this is finished, it won't be a full finish yet. Super cute. Alrighty. So I think I have 3 finishes, if you count that guy, for the year this year. This one is nowhere near a finish. I so much enjoy this piece. This was for the prompt with something with an animal. And if you look close, there are lots of different animals on this. So far I have an owl stitched, but I'm super close to, there's a little cat on the top of the house. So that will definitely be stitched soon. This is Black Vintage Sampler from Forest Embroidery. And I'm almost sure, I checked the Etsy shop. So it's only digitals, but there is an Etsy shop where you can get Owl Forest, and I want to say this one was on there. So that's what it looks like. This is an 18 count, what is it? Rainy Day from Bestitchme. And if we come up close, I got this completely finished. I think I did more of this, and then I keep doing border. I really, really want to keep going with the border as I'm stitching the other stuff, because I feel like if I wait till the end, it's just not going to want to get done. And I really like doing border and inside, because I count things off of each other. So let's hope I'm doing it right? Because if I mess up here, we're going to have a lot of fixing there. But this is I haven't cut it down. I don't remember exactly how far across. I think I am at the center though, up top. I'm not 100% sure, but I do have the full piece here still. I haven't bothered cutting it down. Love this one, really. And I like this one for Zoom calls. I think I did a Zoom call with Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher. She has Zoom calls through her Facebook group on Mondays and Fridays. And sometimes I can't, depending, Friday nights are tough if Mo wants to kind of watch a movie or hang out or something. But I definitely try sometimes to jump on them. Really lovely people. Beth is a wonderful person. And I like doing those kinds of ones during Zoom, because I only have the one color. So they get progress that way. All right, we have a couple more, two more projects that I worked on this week. This one was, the prompt was for a holiday. So this got 2 times this month, which is great. It's Midnight Watch, Blackbird Designs. I'm not stitching, all I'm doing is this part. It's easier to show you what I am stitching than what I'm not. And of course I changed up the fabric. Here we go. Now this didn't get a lot of time. It was a busy day, the day it was called. This is done on an 18 count Bewitched from To Die For Fabrics. I really wanted to do something with that moon would just pop, and pop it does. I did have to change the green. So all of this green here has been changed. Let me see if I have my note here. And instead of 730, I'm using 523. The 730 blended in too much. Now you'll notice here, this is another area. It's a deep, oh, there went my Bringo prompts. The good thing is almost done. It's a deep green, but you've got the house right next to it. So I decided I would keep that because I think there is enough around it that you'll be able to figure out what it is. I did finish the roof, so that's completely done. I started there, had to think about that color, decided it was good, and then again, just worked some more over there. So just slowly working my way down on this one, but super fun. I'm enjoying it. This is my first Blackbird. I might have done a little teeny tiny one. Now I'm second guessing myself, but this is like my first bigger Blackbird. We'll go with that. And I enjoy it. I'm really enjoying that one quite a bit. And then the last piece was the last Bringo prompt, and it was something with a flower or a tree. I can see the piece of paper on the floor. And I pulled out this. So this one got started this month, and it got probably 3-4 sessions this month, which is so much fun. So I got good progress on this. I have a couple more days of the month because I'm going to work on these in their respective months and change the fabric. This is 18 count Winter Blues from Bestitchme. Now, I remember I had the Winter Blues dilemma because the new Winter Blues I got is totally different than this. I have taken a picture of both, and I'm going to reach out to Bestitchme because I don't want to tell you something. If she's changed her formula, I don't want you to say, oh, I was looking for this and I didn't get that. I was watching somebody's Flosstube, and this is why I'm curious, to reach out to her if there's been like a difference in the dyes. And their Winter Blue looked very similar to this. So I figure once I hear from Bestitchme, and I'll be able to give you more information, I will, because I definitely don't want to mislead you if this color has changed. I really hope. If she changed it to the other one, which is beautiful, that's great. But I really hope she keeps something along these lines because it's a beautiful, beautiful color of blue. And you can see how the whites do come out on those, which is nice. I did another flower. I got that. I finished the border down here. I did some more letters. I did change the deer color. So first off, if you've not seen this before, I did change the green. The green is, let's see on my paper here. Instead of 580, which was a little bit too yellow-ish, I went with 937. So it's still along that same family, but a bit more green. And then the reindeer was charted as 829, which was a yellow gold-ish, and I just wasn't loving it. So like if you've watched my fabric and floss video, I took that 829 and I laid it on the board of DMC flosses, and I came up with 839 instead, which is definitely much browner, but I really like it. I think he's cute. And I am doing this kind of thing to just jump off other pieces, and that's why, I don't have all the letters done. I jumped ahead to do this one so that I could do this guy, and then we can do the white underneath there, and then go back with some more letters, just to make the counting a little bit easier. So this has got I'll try to do it at least another stitching session this month before it gets put away. It won't get finished before January ends, but I think I'll have made really good progress with it. And I don't think I have to change any more colors because I think I've used everything pretty much at this point, except for because I think the cardinals might be the same color as the letters, the red letters. So I think we'll be okay. If I change something, I'll let you know. So that is the stitching. That's all I stitched this week. Whew, I stitched a lot. Here and there, some other times is more than others. But I was able to jump on the Zoom, which helped, and and then the Zoom with Amy. So there was a couple different Zooms, which is always nice because that gives me some extra stitching time as well. And Mo has been a little bit busier with work, so if he's got to go back to the office, he works from home, but you know what I mean. That means I'm like, oh, I might as well stitch if we're not going to hang out. So anyway, that's that. So plans, I have a lot of plans-ish, sort of. For somebody who doesn't plan, I have a lot of options of things that I would like to do in February. Oh, and I didn't even list one. I do want to finish up, and that might be more the beginning of the month, some of my February ornament type things so that we can get them on the tree. So if I get them finished, I can show you, and then if the tree gets done, maybe I'll take a picture and show you. I don't have enough. I don't have as many as I have for Christmas. So it would be a work in progress. Now, the next thing, there was, I think it's Full Coverage Fanatics. And if you watch Stitching Mommy, she's actually doing this. They have a bingo board for February. I want to say they're going to do this maybe 2, 3, 4 times. I don't know, not every month, but this is something that they were planning on doing for a few times over the course of the year. Now, this is the full coverage version, which, boy, oh boy, each prompt is supposed to be 1,000 stitches. So you're talking 25,000 stitches over the course of the month. I can hit 20,000, but I'm not sure I could hit 25. But their bingo board's really cool. It comes from the Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook page. And they have some really, they tailored it to February. So for example, one of the prompts is your smallest design because it's the shortest month. Another one, your second oldest project, probably because it's the second month. Obviously Valentine's Day, so there's one with something pink, something with red, there's a prompt with flowers, design title or designer name that begins with F, because February, Groundhog Day, design with an animal, February 26th is apparently Tell a Fairy Tale Day, so fairy tale or character, that one would be a little dicey for me. Design with stormy weather, National Umbrella Day, it's African American History Month, so design with person of color, Snow Moon Month, all sorts of different fun things. So it's really kind of cool how they've really tailored it. And originally I thought I wasn't going to do it full coverage. I was going to just do kind of like Bringo and just any of my projects. Now, there are probably 3 or 4 that I wouldn't be able, I don't have anything. Oh, I mean, you can make a stretch, right? So so that was my first thought, whether or not I wanted to do something like this. And this I would just do myself. I would take all the prompts, I would pick one and work on it and make my own goal. It's not going to be 1,000 per piece, and then just cross it off, type of thing. But I'm not sure I want to do that after Bringo. I loved Bringo and I really like the concept, but 2 months in a row might be a little too much. So what I was thinking, I was showering this morning, and you think cross stitch when you're showering, right? And I was thinking about my plans, and I thought, well, what if I made like a tic-tac-toe board, and I only had 9 and picked 9 of these prompts, and once every 3 days or something or other pick a prompt and use that project for that. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. Or I just might use some of these as fun ideas and throw them in. But if you are part of that group, it's in the files, I think, the section. And like I said, if I hadn't just come off of Bringo, I would probably do this with all my projects. I'm just not sure I want to do that again for 25 more days. So it's a thought though. So that, there might be some things I use from this, but if you'd asked me last week, I would have said, I'm definitely doing this. Now I'm kind of changing things up a little bit. So there's that. The other thing I want to do has to do with finished pieces. You see this pile? These are all pieces that are done that need to be scrapbooked. I placed an order with scrapbook.com that is hopefully coming today. And I do want to print out some pictures because with some of them, I want pictures. So for example, this one was stitched because Megan went to Amsterdam in high school. And so I want to find some pictures with that and have a spread that. This one was stitched because we would go every year to Nebula Lighthouse when we went to Algonquin for our summer vacation. And I have a gazillion pictures. So I want to do a spread with that. And so on and so forth. Now, not everything is with pictures, but I thought it would be a lot of fun to combine, in some cases, pictures with some of my stitches. Like this one, I just want to scrapbook because it's beautiful. I don't necessarily have anything to go with it, but it would just go in the scrapbook as type of thing. Ages ago, I scrapbooked this. This is a Liz Matthews, I think. All that kind of stuff. So I do want to, I'm not going to get this whole pile tackled, but I do want to tackle some of this pile. So that's hopefully in the plans. You know, when you're shopping at a place like scrapbook.com, you know, you're shopping, put these so they don't end up on the floor, and trying to figure out like pattern papers and cardstock colors and things. And I didn't have everything that I wanted to finish with me, so I was guessing. We'll see how well I guessed. All right, then there are two besides, where's mine? Besides the stitch along, which I'm starting this weekend, but oh, whoops. Right here. Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher. It was from spring of 2021. This is it called Seasons of the Heart Spring from Janine McGowan, the Blue Flower. So that's, I'm stitching that for the Best Bunnies Stitchalong style. And I forgot to bring you the fabric and to show you, but if you've seen that video, you know that. So that will be a February. I'll continue to stitch it during February. Oh, wow. I've got a color scheme going here, and I didn't even realize it. That will continue in February. So that's for that stitch along. The next stitch along is Carla's B-E-E, Be My Own Valentine SAL stitch along. And so it's to stitch something with a B. So I'm going to something with a bunny and something with a B. Too bad I didn't find something with both. I could have gotten both stitch alongs done. I have been holding on to this one though to stitch for Carla's stitch along for months now. So I am going to use that. I grabbed out the flosses and I decided to go with, let me cover up that. This is a To Die For fabrics. It's called Light Sea Glass. And it's not going to show up very well. Good thing I don't have fabrics to show you in any shopping today. So there's just one color of floss. I might change one or two, but I thought the green would, all those colors would show up nicely. And this is, it's definitely not green. It almost goes along. It's not blue, but it's more of a minty type of green. So I thought that would be fun. And the Seasons of the Heart is on a Grace Notes green. So you can see the theme that I apparently didn't even know that I was doing. And then I'm pulled out for February's Primrose. This is the monthly piece from Cottage Garden. So that's that one. And, oh no, this is Grace Notes. I don't know who the hand dyer is for the other one then. This is Grace Notes Fabrics. I get their fabric of the month, and this is called Minuet. Isn't that pretty? So it's a greener green and almost a little bit shades of sort of yellow, but not in a crazy way. So that's the design, and I thought the pinks and the purples and all of those colors look nicely on that. I don't think I have to do any floss changes on that. So I have 3 projects that will be on green fabrics this month that I'm starting. Imagine that. Alrighty. So those are the 2 that I definitely want to start. There was that other one that I need to pull out and see if it'll work on Tiramisu. And potentially that full coverage. So we'll see. All right, so is that it for plans? Oh, and then I'm tempted. So Beth from the Steadfast Stitcher, she is starting 60 pieces for her 60th birthday year this year. And every week she's starting a piece and then throwing in some extras. Well, this weekend she's starting the Haunted Library Stitch Along, the Sal from, is it Lola Crow, that everybody stitched last year. And I kept watching people stitch it last year, kept watching. And I kept being tempted, but I didn't get it, didn't do it. But now that Beth is stitching it, I'm so tempted to get it. So I might be joining Beth on that one. We'll see. We'll see on that. I'm not 100% sure. but I'm really tempted. It's such a cute, I don't necessarily do mystery stitch-alongs, but once I saw the full piece, I thought it was just so much fun, so much fun. So you might see that at some point too. All right, shopping. I don't have a lot of shopping. In fact, I only have one set. When was it? I want to say last weekend. Mo and I ran down to Bethany. There was a furniture store down there that we wanted to go to, that we wanted to look at, because we have pretty much our furniture, but you know, there's different decor items. I want to do a rug in the living room, that kind of thing. And I'd not been there before. People had been there before, so I said, oh, I'll give it a try. It's nice, but we didn't find anything. And but it's in Bethany. Okay, so I said to Mo, well, Sea Needles is in Bethany, which is it's a small needlework shop. It has a lot of yarns, crochet. It has a lot of that too. It's a small shop, and it's kind of broken up into different pieces. A lot of the patterns are definitely your more nostalgic patterns, the more vintagey patterns, I want to say. There's not a lot of newer patterns that are there, but it's kind of fun sometimes going through the spinners. Mo was waiting for me though, so I didn't want to go too long. I was there on a mission, because when I was talking about my Kringles, and I was talking about how I was going to change out the sparkle, and I had showed you, I think it was a DMC kind of skein of something, I don't know what. Helen D had reached out to me, and she said, you could try Petite Treasure Braid, and that might work even better. And of course I didn't have any. And I said, well, there is a store I'm in Bethany. The store is in Bethany. Let's just drive down there. So he says, well, can we do a quick drive? He's like, sure, why not? Gives him a chance to look at his phone while he's waiting on me. So I went, and they had Petite Treasure Braid, which is so fun. And I picked out, because I couldn't decide, I picked out a couple golds. And one, I think this is a little bit too bright, because Kringles is a bit more of a subdued sort of colors. So I figured this one might be kind of nice too. How do they do these? Do they have names? No. One is just PBO2 and PBO3. So I picked up those two. But of course I couldn't stop there. They had all sorts of braids things. So they had Nordic Gold, and they had Sparkle Braid. So I have all sorts of golds now. And I don't know if these are harder to use than this, but I just figured, what the heck. They do say, for example, the Nordic Gold cross stitch to 18 count, and then the Sparkle Braid combined with other threads. And I know on Kringles, they have you put a regular strand of floss with the sparkle stuff. So that, I thought that might work too. And that was kind of a nice subdued sort of antique gold. So I picked that one up too. So I picked those up, and then one must always have some sort of silver, right? So I picked up the silver, and then I just liked this color, and I have some ideas for this. So I picked that up as well. So I picked up a bunch of those are both Petite Treasure braids. So that I picked up that, and then the only other thing I looked at their fabric. They didn't have much in the way of 18 count, just white and ivory, but they had this in 16 count. It's called Violet Mist. Now it doesn't have, I wonder if it's a Witchelt, because it doesn't have the Zweigart line. I'm not sure. It's just a regular, it's a mauve. It's a 18 by 26 piece. So I'm wondering, I know a lot of people did Haunted Library on purples. So if I do get the pattern and I do get the flosses, maybe I'll do floss sass on this. Now this would be 16 count, which is a little bit different than what I traditionally work on. I figured, if nothing else, I love 16 count if I want to make something a little bit bigger for like an ornament or something like that. If it's small, and the 18 count would just make it really small, I could go with something like this. So I picked that up, and that's it. That's all I got. It'll take, they have some sort of program where if you spend a certain amount, you know, you get something. It'll take me forever to, because I just get little bits and pieces every time I go. All right, so that was my shopping. Giveaway. Let's do the giveaway. So this week was trims, and I've already got them cut. I cut them out. I have 2 yards of, this is beautiful. This is stretchy lace ribbon-ish trim. So we have black and we have white, and then we have twill ribbon, and that's in a lovely deep red. So those are the 3. There's 2 yards of all of them. I usually try to give a tiny bit extra. This, of course, they're not all the same exact, but they should be all at least 2 yards. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So I asked you to say the word trim. And let me mix around the names to see who I'm hopefully sending these to. All right, they get stuck together, you know? Let me grab. All right, who do we have? Teresa. Teresa. I'm just going to put your name up against my iPad. Teresa Petrick. Oh, but then you can just see. Let me do this. There we go. Congratulations, Teresa. Let's touch base, and I'll get those out to you. Alrighty. Now, this week's, you know what, I'm just going to put this right back in here like that. This week's giveaway, as we're heading into February, I was looking at some different patterns and things and stuff that, I mean, obviously they can be stitched at any point, but, you know, kind of have a February theme-ish. And I have this one here from Country Cottage Needleworks. It's called Love Lives Here. Super cute. And since there is that really fun house in the middle, I would just ask you to say the word house, and I will put your name in the blue bowl for a giveaway next video. I thought, wouldn't this be super cute just to stitch this? It's a tree of hearts, and then the little fence with the 2 little birdies on either side. That would be an adorable little stitch. Absolutely super cute. But there we go. So if you say the word house, I'll put your name in, and next video we will do the giveaway. As usual, please be 18 or older. Please don't say giveaway or free. I would love it if you'd be a subscriber. Thank you. All right, so that's next week's giveaway, or next video. And that's it. That's the stitchy stuff. Woohoo! Whew. Lots of stitchy stuff this week. Thank you so much if you are still here. And you just want to hear the stitching stuff. I don't even know what to say anymore. I've been talking for over an hour. And I need breakfast. If you just want to hear the stitchy stuff, then I hope you have a wonderful, fabulous, stupendous week, and I will see you next time. Life stuff will be quick with the life stuff because I've been talking for a while. I have my tea here, which I haven't grabbed, but this morning I had a lemon with water, and so I kept the lemon in there, and I put my elderflower tea bag in there, and so it's a combination of elderflower and a lemon slice. It's kind of cool. I didn't know. I was going through and I'm looking at my different teas, and quite a few of them would not really go with lemon, so that was my tea of choice this morning. One of multiple cups of tea. All right, so life stuff. Just getting back to you know, the house being just the 2 of us and nice and quiet. And we've been cleaning it, doing all the wash, doing all that stuff. So that stuff's been getting done. And it's been a bit of a busy week for work for Mo. A little stressful. He had some stuff going on. So yesterday afternoon, we had planned after lunch or around lunch to hit the grocery store because we're running out of things in the fridge. So I'm running out of dinner ideas. And so I said, he'd been really stressed the night before, worked late, and the morning wasn't going well. So I looked at what I had in the house, and then I kind of just searched some of my favorite people, you know, that have their own, I guess they're food blogs, but you know, they have all the recipes on there. And I found one that we had everything for. So I said to him, I said, that's it. I know what I'm going to do for dinner. I'm going to kidnap you instead. And it was a beautiful day yesterday. So I said, we're going to go down to the beach and have a walk on the boardwalk. Because it was sunny, finally sunny, and the temperature was about 50 degrees. Now there was some wind, but it wasn't a cold wind while the sun was out. So we did that, and it was wonderful. Near the end, the sun was behind the clouds, so it got a little bit chillier, but we had finished the walk at that point. So that was really nice. We needed the fresh air because we've been kind of stuck in the house as it was, and we needed the sunshine, and he just needed to take a break. So I think that really worked out well. And dinner, which we had never made before, it was a white bean stew kind of thing, was delicious. So now I have a new recipe on top of the fact that we got out to the beach yesterday. So it was a win-win all the way around. Other than that, I don't know if there's really much to talk about life-wise. No, really. I'm gonna say that it's been pretty quiet, and I've just been, you know, kind of hunkering in with this kind of dreary weather. I've definitely battled yesterday. I battled a sinus headache, and I'm much less. You know how I talked about the fact that I'm always snuffly, every single day, but today not so bad. And so luckily, we finally got rid of. It took about half the day to get rid of it. It was gone by the time I went out for the walk, but I think the walk in the fresh air probably would have helped if I hadn't done that as well. So yeah, not really a ton there. And I'm trying to think coming up, not a ton. I think it'll be a quiet weekend. Mo is volunteering over. He volunteers at one of the pet shelters here in Delaware. He just started doing that this year, so this month, and he's really enjoying it. With my allergies, I can't be around all types of dogs like that, and so unfortunately that doesn't work for me, but it has definitely worked for him, and he's getting his dog fix whenever he goes. So I think he's going this weekend. He's only allowed to walk the green dogs because he's new, so the easier dogs, but he's got his little dogs, and they have a little wooded path area that he can walk, and so he's been enjoying that. So I think while he does that this weekend, I might get some stitching done. And that's it. That's all I can tell you right now that I know. I think we've got some house stuff coming on in February that, you know, when we get there, I'm super excited about. Upgrades with one part of the house, so that'll be a lot of fun. And the end of February, lacrosse season starts, so that will mean a little bit more running back and forth to Pennsylvania. So we'll see. So I'm going to enjoy the quieter now. I think it's going to get cold next week. I'm not sure snow is in our future, but I think the temperatures are going to get colder, so we might be hunkering in a little bit extra there too. But I hope wherever you are, that you are well and you are safe and either warm or cool, in the sense of keeping warm or cool, depending on what part of the world you happen to be in and what your weather happens to be, or dry if you're somewhere rainy or snowy. There's a lot of different things we could be, right? But I hope all is well with you. Take care of yourself, get your stitching in if you can, or some other self-care, because you are important and you matter, and your needs are just as important as anybody else's. So take care of yourself. And for me, that means some good stitching time, at least a little bit each and every day. So that's what I will plan on doing while this video is uploading. So until next time, all my friends, happy stitching.